How's it going, folks? Welcome back. Today we're going to test out BeyondATC in 2025. It's been probably well over a year since we've touched BeyondATC on the channel. You might remember recently we looked at SayIntentions. Again, after about a year of not using it, we flew from Manchester to Gatwick. So we're going to do exactly the same thing today in BeyondATC and see how it stacks up. Okay, so bizarrely I've made a SimBrief plan and I've loaded BeyondATC. You can tell it knows it's me because it's got my call sign, but as far as I can tell, there's no frequencies, there's nothing to do. Yeah, not entirely sure what we need to do right now. Of course, you've got to click these headphones, I've forgotten. The UI, I think, could probably use some work. So we've got all of these frequencies here that we can tune to. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. They should really make this a bit more front and center, I think. Right, let's get the plane fired up and we will see what's going on. Okie dokie, up to the top then. Let's get batteries on. Battery 1, battery 2. We'll get our external power on. We'll arm the emergency lights. We'll put the no smoking light on because it's not the early 90s. We'll do the navs. That one didn't go. There we go, that's better. Oxygen, crew supply, and we'll get the nav light on. Everything's come to life. That is good. Let's go and have a quick look at the EFB. Check out the new wallpaper. Not entirely 100% sure on this one yet. It may be subject to change before we publish it. Anyway, into the EFB. Let's bring in our flight plan from SimBrief. There we go. Manchester down to Gatwick. That's all good. Let's get the plane loading. Okay, while that's getting loading underway, let's go into the ATSU menu, AOC, flight init, and we will do an init data request. Good, that's all good. Air 232, and we've got departure Manchester down to Gatwick, and alternate of I don't know where that is. Let's go to the init page and do an init request. Jolly good. Couple of things to fill out. We'll put in our call sign or flight number, and we'll do cost index of 60 today, and I've got no idea what we're cruising at. Let's have a look. Okay, so kind of interestingly, we are at flight level 170 according to SimBrief, all the way there. That seems a little bit low to me, and my cost index of 60 was in fact wrong. We are doing a cost index of 50 according to SimBrief, that is. Okay, cost index is now 50, and we'll put in 170. That seems really low to me. That's weird, that. I don't know. Is there something about the Gatwick to the Manchester to Gatwick route that would normally put you that low? That doesn't seem right. Also, check out all the traffic that's going on here. This is pretty cool. So in the settings of BeyondATC, it said about like ground traffic and arrival traffic, departure traffic, and you can set it from a value between 0 and 10, I believe. And I just set it all to 5, just because I thought we'll go middle of the road and just see what it does. But look, I mean, the airport looks really quite busy. We've got a load of EasyJets over there, over the other side. Lots and lots and lots going on. Looks like we've got a Dreamliner behind us, ready to taxi. Yeah, these two are taxiing, look. So presumably when we tune onto the ground frequency, we'll hear all of those guys talking and getting their clearances to taxi. That's pretty cool. Is it me, or do they look like they're moving a bit quick? I don't know, that looks a bit weird to me, almost like they're ice skating. Alright, so SimBrief has got us out of 2-3 left, I should say, on the... Hold the line. Samba 1 Yankee departure. There we go. I knew that, didn't I? And into Gatwick, we are on the Kidley 1 Golf, I believe, into 2-6 left. Where is it? There it is, Kidley 1 Golf. And we'll do a Willow transition. Now, this is going to be interesting because normally, if you're on VATSIM, like Willow's a weird one. Let me just show you on the charts real quick. Yeah, here we go. So we're going to be heading down south towards Gatwick. Gatwick is in there. And then Willow, you've kind of got this weird little loop that you do. Now, on VATSIM, you would never usually be asked to do that unless it's super busy and the controller's trying to buy themselves some time for scheduling reasons. When we last did this flight with SayIntentions, it kind of bypassed it just like it would do on VATSIM, which was pretty impressive. Although, if I recall, I think we were kept quite low for quite a long time for the rest of the approach into the ILS for 2-6 left. So we'll see how BeyondATC does. It's going to be interesting to see. Okay then, so we should tune an ATIS. There are 2 ATISes. I'm not sure why that is. I guess if we click this, will it auto-tune for us? Yes.
Manchester Airport, information Lima. 09 at tree 1 Zulu. Wind 170 at tree. Visibility 10 miles or more. Few clouds at 800. Scattered at 1,300. Ceiling 2,000 broken. Temperature 1 tree. Dew point 12. QNH 1000.
That all makes sense. In which case, let's get on to clearance and get our IFR clearance down to Gatwick. Now, what you can do, if I get my ugly mug out the way...
Ryanair 2302, ready to pick up IFR clearance to Oreo Alcerios.
So that's all the AI traffic, isn't it?
Listo 2 Yankee departure, squawk 0.
Yeah, so this is all the traffic, isn't it? Just kind of talking amongst themselves.
Listo 2 Yankee departure. Squawk 0.
Which is kind of annoying when you want to talk, but it's just like VATSIM. Sometimes you have to just be patient and wait and jump in. If you don't fancy doing all the speaking yourself, you have got these clickable buttons. So if I just wanted to request IFR clearance without doing any speaking into the mic, I could just click this button, then BeyondATC would speak to ATC on my behalf, and the whole conversation would take place with me clicking buttons. But we're going to do the talking today, because obviously that's kind of a big part of testing it out. Pretty cool though, the way that the planes are talking to themselves on the ground. I like that. And for those of you that think, oh, that's actually a bit annoying, because what if I want to talk and I've got to wait for everyone to, finish their conversation? It's like, well, welcome to VATSIM. That happens all the time. Let's just start things off with a quick radio check, shall we? Manchester delivery Air 232 radio check.
Air 232, reading you loud and clear.
Right, pretty good. All right, now let's try and get our IFR clearance. It's nice that you get a transcript as well, because on VATSIM, if a controller says something and you forget, it's like, oh no, I've got to ask them again and I look stupid. Whereas here, you can kind of cheat and just read what was said and then work out what you need to do. I like that. Manchester delivery Air 232 stand 6 aircraft type A320 with Lima on board with IFR to Gatwick, please. That's what I would roughly say on VATSIM, so we'll see what it does.
Air 232 Manchester delivery information Lima correct, expect runway 23 left, Samba 1 Yankee departure, squawk tree for 50.
Samba 1 Yankee departure.
Oh.
Squawk 3450. Air 232.
Oh, I've got auto respond on.
Air 232, read back correct. Contact ground 118, decimal 63 when ready.
I need to turn that off.
Start.
Ground 118, decimal 63 when ready. Air 232.
Okay, so did you just see that? Maybe you didn't, because my camera was in the way. What just happened there in this area here, where all the little text instructions are, I got a little radio thing come up with one radio sort of transitioning to another radio, indicating that it's auto-tuned the radio for me. So it's gone from the delivery frequency to Manchester ground automatically, and obviously the auto-respond thing is on, so that's why it spoke back on my behalf. So let's turn that off, and let's do it all properly. So really all we need to do now is then set our squawk, because all the communications have taken place on our behalf thanks to it auto-responding. So we're going to set our squawk to 3450, and then we'll get onto ground once we're loaded and ready to rock and roll. Also nice how you kind of get these like broken down instructions. So if you're not sure, it can kind of be, there can be lots of steps to it, an instruction, but like now we need to taxi to runway 23 left, there's our SID, there's our transition, there's our squawk, there's our ground frequency that we're going to next. That's really nice, it's handy. Again, bit of a cheat because you wouldn't get that on VATSIM, but if you're learning, and this really is a great tool to learn for VATSIM, so if you're going to use this to practice for VATSIM, this is great. There we go, so you can see the frequency's already been tuned 118630 because it auto-tuned for us, which is pretty cool. Let's put in our squawk, so we'll clear out what's already in here. What we're going 3450. Lovely. And while we've been doing all that, the aircraft is now loaded, so that's good. We can send all of that information to the MCDU. We can do our departure performance. So we've got Manchester 23 left. It's not dry, it's wet. Let's sync the load sheet, let's sync the weather, and we will calculate that. So V1 of 138, rotation of 149, V2 150, flaps 1 with a trim of down 0.5, flex temp of 66. That's good. Send that to the MCDU. I love that on the Fenix. It's like a little cheat code, isn't it? Move over, let's just check that everything's looking reasonable. Init page B, that's looking good. Just sort of scanning through, reading it all, making sure that there's nothing that obviously looks out of whack. Generally, you can trust the Fenix calculations, but it doesn't hurt to double check. That's all gone across, hasn't it? Because 138, 149, 150, flaps 1, down 0.5, flex temp 66. Good, we are cooking with gas. We can get ready to push. So let's get the APU fired after we've turned on our fuel pumps, of course. APU master on, wait 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and then start. Jolly good, APU has fired. Let's get the passengers strapped in, and we'll turn on the beacon, which will then hopefully kick GSX into life and get us ready for a push. Okay, good. Let's have a quick look at our departure. So out of 23 left, which is going to be the lower of the two runways shown on the chart, we're going to basically head out and sort of do a bit of an S-turn. And then at Samba, we need to be at 5,000 feet. Not above, not below, at 5,000, because we've got the lines above and below the 5,000 feet at the Samba waypoint. But here you can see we need to be above 3, below 5. So those are our constraints for the departure. Shouldn't be too much, nice and simple. And then we get ourselves down to Gatwick. So I'm going to put 5,000 feet in the window over here. Right, let's give ground a buzz and let them know that we are ready for our push and start. We've already been auto-tuned by BeyondATC. So we don't need to change frequency on the radios at all, but obviously when we go from ground to tower we will, because now I've turned the auto-tune feature off. One thing to keep in mind, actually, you might be thinking that the controllers sound better than the other traffic in the sim. That is because I'm using the enhanced voices with BeyondATC for the controllers but not for the traffic, because obviously that's going to eat through your premium characters allowance. Because, of course, with BeyondATC, you kind of pay for a certain amount of characters for the premium voices. You get the basic voices for free, which is kind of what you're hearing with the AI traffic. The controllers, though, in this case, are using the premium voices. That's why they sound a little bit better, but it does come at a cost. Right, come on then, let's give ground a buzz. I'm really curious to kind of see how they respond to us. It's going to be cool. Manchester ground, very good morning. Air 232, stand 6, ready for push and start.
Gulf Air 004 Heavy, gauge 31, request pushback. Lufthansa 4 Juliet Victor, hold position for traffic.
Did we get blocked?
Hold position for traffic. Lufthansa 4 Juliet Victor.
Let's see what the
Lufthansa 4 Juliet Victor, continue taxi.
Continue taxi. Lufthansa 4 Juliet Victor.
Gulf Air 004 Heavy, Manchester ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face south.
There's a lot, isn't there? There's a lot of traffic.
Face south, Gulf Air 004 Heavy. Air 232, Manchester ground, pushback approved, face south.
Okay, so it did get to us. We're in the queue. Push and start approved, face south, Air 232. Okay, so we want to do, in that case, nose to the right, tail to the left. Let's rock and roll.
Flight 935. Gulf Air 004 Heavy, request
So far,
taxi.
so good. You can still hear the comms going on in the background. That kind of brings it all to life a bit, and it hasn't really pushed us back into a plane that was like, you know, kind of parked behind us or anything. It's doing the right thing. And let's start engine 2. Yeah, look at it all over there. There's one ready for taxi just over there. Gulf Air looks like they're ready to go too. There's a load at the gates.
It's
quite impressive.
Hold position for traffic.
Yeah, look, this one's moving now. Right, we're all good to go. Let's get our taxi instruction. Ground Air 232, ready for taxi.
Air 232, runway 23 left taxi via Lima, Papa Tango Sierra Victor Victor Alpha.
Taxi runway 23 left via Lima, Papa Tango Sierra Victor Victor Alpha, Air 232. Damn. Okay, so let's now, yeah, so if that was all a bit too much, it does give you, like I say, these little blocks here that you can kind of work it out progressively, so that's really nice. Let's just quickly check on charts. Yeah, so looking at the chart, we've got Lima here, then we sort of make a left onto Papa, cross 23 right. They haven't mentioned about holding short for 23 right. Then we come over onto Tango briefly, then down onto Victor, and then Victor Alpha onto 23 left. That's not bad. They probably should have told me to hold short 23 right, I would have thought, because at the moment I've just got clearance to just cruise right across it, which, given that there's traffic on the roll here, that feels a bit weird to me. Right, I've got my map up. Let's do a taxi then to 23 left. Let's go.
Face southwest.
Okay, we're going to bear left onto Papa. Definitely feels weird to me that we've been told basically just to cross 23 right. That feels completely wrong. I would have probably told me to taxi and hold short Papa 3 or Papa 1, whichever the holding point is, Papa 1 I believe. Wonder if I ask it, are we clear to cross 23 right, what it will do. Ground Air 232, are we cleared to cross runway 23 right?
Manchester ground Air 232, runway 23 right crossing clearance is not available at this time.
Okay. However, taxi to 23 left via Lima Papa Tango Sierra Victor. So, I mean, I've got to cross it. I've got no choice. I have to cross it. And they're telling me it's not available. I think basically it doesn't know.
Beeline 8 Mike Papa, ready to taxi to the active.
What if I tell it I'm holding Papa 1? Manchester Ground Air 232 holding Papa 1.
Manchester Ground Air 232, taxiing to Papa, distance 725 feet, back left.
What? I think I've confused it, haven't I? Ground Air 232, continuing taxi to 23 left.
Manchester Ground Air 232, continue taxiing to runway 23 left, next taxi point Tango, distance 1,241 feet behind.
Okay. We'll just go across. I don't think it has fully acknowledged the fact that we are about to cross an active runway, and it's just basically saying, yeah, it's crack on, even though there's traffic around. Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been nice if it had had us hold and actually acknowledge the fact we're going to cross a runway. Normally on VATS, it would be, you know, taxi to holding point Papa 1, hold short runway 23 right, yeah, that sort of thing. Then just as you approach the Papa 1 holding point, it would be like, okay, now you can cross, or you have to wait for a plane to land or whatever. Okay, that's Papa. Then we move on to Tango, then Sierra.
Air 232, contact Manchester Tower 119.405. Bye bye.
Tower 119.405, Air 232. Tower, good morning, Air 232, with you on Victor Alpha.
Manchester Tower Air 232, roger. You're currently at Victor Alpha. Continue taxiing to departure runway 23 left.
But then, so is that line-up clearance? That didn't sound like line-up clearance to me. Tower Air 232, holding short 23 left.
Air 232, Manchester Tower, wind 210 at 4. Runway 23 left, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 23 left, Air 232. Okay, let's start the clock. Let's put the transponder into Tara. Engines out of ignition. I should have done that earlier, my bad. Okay, I think we're good to go.
Gulf Air 004 Heavy, ready to go, runway 23 left.
You aren't ready to go, mate, because I need to go.
Gulf Air 004 Heavy, number 2 for departure. Hold short of 23 left.
Okay, fair play.
Affirmative, hold short of 23 left, the Gulf Air 004 Heavy.
Got it right. Hey, I've made a complete mess of lining up here, probably because I was trying to look out the window as we were joining the runway. Never mind. Okay then, let's get down to Gatwick. Let's see what BeyondATC has in store for us. So we'll let the engines spool up and equalise. There we go, SRS green, Manflex 66, auto thrust blue, speed is alive.
Gulf Air 004 Heavy, runway 23 left, line up and wait.
Okay, that's good, it's acknowledged I'm on the roll, so it's lining up the next person. Bit lumpy bumpy here at Manchester, isn't it? V1. Rotate. Positive climb, gear up.
Green Flight 935 Heavy, ready for departure, runway 23 left.
Okay, so we've got a few turns coming up. This is a fun departure out of Manchester on 23 left, especially as we head down south. So we're going to make a turn to the right. Wants levers into climb now as well. Dip the nose while turning to let the aircraft accelerate. Just follow those flight directors.
Green Flight 9. Air 232, contact Scottish Control 134.43.
Scottish Control 134.43, Air 232. Scottish Control Air 232 departed out of 23 left on the Samba 1 Yankee.
Air 232, Scottish Control identified, climb to flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100, Air 232.
Air 232,
London Control 118775 Air 232. London Control Air 232, flight level 100 inbound Sandba.
Air 232, London Control, good day, identified, climb to flight level 170.
Climb flight level 170, Air 232.
Arrows Echo Golf, London Control, expect with V1 Charlie, runway 12.
Yeah, it's a weird one. This only at 17,000 feet because if you look here, we're just about to reach our top of climb, and it's only like, what, 70 miles till top of descent. So I guess you could say, why aren't we at 30,000? It's all because you'd be up and then you'd be straight down, I suppose. So maybe it's not as unreasonable as I first suspected. I'd be curious to see what pilots get in the real world, though. Would you just look at these clouds, man? They're so good.
Gulf Air 004 Heavy, London Control, identified, climb to flight level 360.
Oh man, that looks so good. It's easy to get angry at Flight Sim 24 sometimes because of all of its issues, but then like, you know, the issues are getting less and less and less over time, and then you just get moments like this where it's like, yeah, okay, I kind of forgive it. Okay, I could look at those clouds all day, but we do need to keep in mind that our projected top of descent is only, well, less than 40 miles away. So we're going to keep an eye on BeyondATC. We're going to kind of see what it does, whether it just lets us sail past it, whether we need to ask it for descent, whether it understands when we do ask, or whether it's going to sort of proactively get in touch and be like, hey, you ready for descent? Descend to this level. So we'll watch with interest. Meantime, I'm going to sort out our destination data, and we will get the plane ready for our arrival into Gatwick. Okay, let's get the plane ready for the arrival into Gatwick. We've got all the approach information we need to fill out here.
Air 232, London Control, expect Kidley 1 Golf, runway 26 left.
Expect Kidley 1 Golf, runway 26 left, Air 232. I thought we were going to get descent clearance then, but just our arrival. That's fine though, that's what we were expecting. Basically, I think it's just looked at our sim brief plan and been like, yeah, that. Okay, pressing tab, I've recently found out, will let you bring up the EFB built into the sim, but then you can also then load the Fenix EFB into it, meaning you don't have to sort of keep looking across, copying values, looking back, putting them back in. You can just do this, which is really nice. So we'll do our arrival performance, Gatwick 26 left. The weather is 1004 for the Q&A. Temperature on the ground is 15, and the wind is 190/10, and the barrow is 396.
Contact London Control 118.475.
118.475, Air 232. London Control, Air 232, flight level 170, inbound Kidley.
Easy 644, contact Luton. Approach 132.05.
Contact Luton, approach 132.05, easy 644.
Are we in a queue? Did they hear us?
Air 232,
They did.
London Control, radar contact.
Okay, so no further action required. 17 miles from top of descent. Are they going to get in touch? I'll leave it until about 5 miles and then I'll ask them. So we need to be flight level 150 by Kidley.
Kidley 1 Golf, runway 26 left. Report ready for descent.
Kidley 1 Golf, 26 left for Gatwick, and we'll report ready for descent, Air 232.
Air 232, descend to flight level 150.
Descend flight level 150, Air 232. Yeah, so it's trying to get us there for Kidley, isn't it? So there's a plane that appears to be very close to us. And yeah, we're getting a traffic alert. Okay, let's turn to the left, get away from that threat.
Bucky 202, fly present heading, climb to flight level 200. Expect further clearance in about 150 miles.
Okay, that was a bit sketch. I don't really think the ATC there had really acknowledged what was going on. Okay, let's go to our next waypoint, which is going to be Midhurst.
Air Knot 232, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1004.
10 4,000 feet, QNH 1004, Air Knot 232. So the next question is it going to make us do the full little loop at Willow? Because if we kind of come down here, whoop, there it is. You can see there's a little loop kind of built into the flight plan where you kind of go around from Holly, round to Willow, then back, and then to May. On VATSIM, I've never ever been asked to fly this. You always kind of get vectored out from Holly or from somewhere even beforehand. Never once have I done that. Even SayIntentions bypassed it, and it was part of my flight plan with them. So it would be interesting to see kind of how on rails BeyondATC is by comparison, whether it's going to make us do the whole thing because it's there, and why wouldn't you do it because it's there? So we'll see what it does. Okay, 10,000 feet, let's get some lights on, shall we? Oh.
Contact Gatwick Director 126, decimal 825.
Gatwick Director on 126, decimal 825, Air Knot 232, see ya. 126, 825, let's swap that over now. Gatwick Director, Air Knot 232 on the Kidley 1 Golf for 26 left.
Air Knot 232, Gatwick Director. Good day. QNH 1004. Expect the ILS runway 26 left with the Willow transition.
QNH 1004 will expect 26 left with the Willow transition, Air Knot 232. Okay, so the Willow transition implies perhaps they are planning to make us do this entire loop here. That would be a bit weird. We'll see. Okay, let's have a quick look at our landing weight. So go to init page B. We're going to have 3 tons of fuel on board when we land, and our zero fuel weight is 61 tons. So 3 tons plus 61 is 64 tons landing weight. Bit of a crude way of doing it, but it kind of works. That means low auto brake here. You can see our stop bars. We are absolutely fine. Medium would bring us back even further. Probably not necessary. Max manual would stop us really quickly. Goes to show how well they can stop themselves, these planes, and then yeah, low auto brake will be fine, in which case let's activate low auto brake. Are they going to vector us? But they did say with the Willow transition, which to me tells me they're going to make me do the whole loop, probably unnecessarily, which tells me that BeyondATC maybe is a little bit more on rails than SayIntentions, particularly with how it handled that crossing of runway 23 right as well. It just seemed oblivious to the fact we were crossing an active runway. Does seem a lot better though from the early days. The early days it's quite easy to confuse it. I remember there was one time I was like, yeah, air not whatever, ready for descent, and it was like, I couldn't read that last transmission. Basically, it didn't know what it was confused. Haven't had that today though, so that's good. Yeah, the nearer we get, I really think they're going to make us fly this whole loop, unless we get an instruction really like in the next few seconds / minute or two. Okay, local QNH is set, and yeah, it looks like we're going to do the Willow transition, but there is a plane actually inbound, so that might be why. I don't know. So if we were to just carry on to May, we'd probably slot in behind. I don't know whether that's the reason. I don't know whether it's kind of figured it out that that's why it is doing it, or whether it's just blindly making us do the Willow transition. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you've done this approach into Gatwick with BeyondATC, and let me know what it makes you do. Starting the loop at Willow now, or at Holly to Willow, so it seems very much like we're going to do the whole loop.
Air Knot 232, cleared direct Willow, cross Willow at or above 4,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 26 left.
Cleared direct Willow, cross Willow at or above 4,000, then cleared ILS 26 left, Air Knot 232. Weird. Yeah, so it wants us to go direct to Willow, then we're cleared for the ILS. So basically Willow, then I guess we just carry on and join the ILS. Weird. Okay. Maybe it's because of all the traffic that's going on. There's lots of traffic on my radar at the minute. Like you can see here, look at all that, one there, one there, one there. All look like they're heading into Gatwick, I would assume, judging by their altitudes. So maybe it is doing this to get me out of the way, or would it have just maybe do it anyway? I don't know. I suspect probably it would have. That's my gut feeling, but I could be wrong. Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you've done this approach and if it makes you do this every time. Alright, so we've done our little loop of Willow. I'm not entirely sure why we needed to do that. I don't know whether it's because of the traffic that's currently inbound to Gatwick, the AI traffic that is. I don't know if there were no traffic, whether it would have made me just do that anyway. Yeah, be keen to know from you guys in the comments if you've done this approach before on BeyondATC without any of the AI traffic, whether it still makes you do that. That would be good to know. Anyway, we're going now into May, 4,000 feet, then we'll come down to 2,000 feet to pick up the ILS into 26 left. Okay, so we passed May and we're now heading down to 2,000 feet and we will then pick up the ILS into 26 left.
We've go for 07 in about 21 miles.
Get our landing system on, speed 180, and we'll arm the approach.
Air Knot 232, contact Gatwick Tower 124.23, bye-bye.
Tower on 124.23, air knot 232. Gatwick Tower, air knot 232 on the ILS for 26 left on an 8-mile final.
Air Knot 232, Gatwick Tower, continue.
Continue approach, air knot 232. Let's go to final approach speed. We'll go flaps full. We'll get gear down.
Air Knot 232, wind 180 at 9er. Runway 26 left, cleared to land.
Cleared to land, 26 left, air knot 232. Right, let's have a quick look. Flaps are full, speed brakes are on, and we have lights on, 3 greens, auto brake low. Little bit of a wind, well quite a bit of a wind actually, 25 knots coming at us from left to right, which is not nothing. So let's disengage the autopilot now. Get a bit of a feel for the aircraft. I don't like disabling the autopilot too close to the runway because you sort of need a minute, just, well, I do anyway, you need a minute to kind of get a feel for the aircraft. And it can sometimes go a bit wrong. Oh, I feel like my landings haven't been good lately.
1,000.
Really hoping that this one kind of turns the tide a little bit. I don't know about the rest of you, but I feel like I go through like phases. Like sometimes I feel like I'm just absolutely locked in, and then other times I feel like I'm just in this enormous rut that I can't get out of with bad landings. So if it happens to you, don't worry, you're not alone, believe me. That wind is definitely bobbing us around, keeping us busy, that's for sure. 500 feet. Got a bit of a crab on the go, that's okay. Visually we're looking tidy, could do with maybe being just a touch lower at this point, but not too much lower.
Hundred above.
Come on.
Minimum.
Continue.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. Retard.
It's not too shabby. I'll take that into reverse idle. Nose wheel settle. Auto brakes low. Taking care of business. We will stamp on the brakes as well. See if we can jump off here at Foxtrot Romeo. It's generally where I like to jump off.
Exit right at hotel.
Exit right at hotel. Sorry, I'm on Foxtrot Romeo now, buddy. Air Knot 232, we are exiting on Foxtrot Romeo.
Air Knot 232, contact ground 121.805.
To ground 121.805, Air Knot 232. Ground, good afternoon, Air Knot 232 on Foxtrot Romeo.
Gatwick, ground Air Knot 232, go ahead.
Air Knot 232, requesting parking. Wasn't sure what to say then, that caught me a bit off guard. Just hold here for a minute.
Gatwick, ground Air Knot 232, unable to assist with that request.
No. What do I need to say? Request taxi to assigned gate. Request taxi to a gate. Request taxi to gate Air Knot 232.
Air Knot 232. Welcome to Gatwick Airport. Say parking or advise if need assignment.
Parking Air Knot 232.
Air Knot 232. Say again gate number.
I don't know. Where do you want me to go? Gate 567, Air Knot 232. This feels clunky.
Air Knot 232. Gate 567. Taxi via Foxtrot. Romeo, Juliet, Romeo, Lima, Quebec Alpha.
Okay, just the way, the cadence of the way that was spoken, I found that quite hard. I'm just going to read that back.
Over to gate 567, taxi via Foxtrot, Romeo, Juliet, Romeo, Lima, Quebec Alpha.
Yeah.
Air Knot
So
232.
Foxtrot, Romeo, Juliet, Romeo, Lima, Quebec Alpha, which on the face of it, to me, looks correct. It's just the way it was spoken then, just the way the kind of the AI kind of said it. It kind of sounded not quite right. Yeah, so looking at charts, Foxtrot Romeo, onto Juliet, then what was it? Onto Romeo, which is up here, onto Lima, then Quebec Alpha to stand 567. Fine. Let's go! Okay, we're on Juliet, fairly straightforward taxi to stand 567 here at Gatwick, my preferred stand of choice at Gatwick. So Juliet, Romeo, Lima, Quebec Alpha, nice and easy. I will see you at the gate in a few minutes and we'll see what we have to conclude about this trip. So we made it. It got us to Gatwick from Manchester. So, I mean, first of all, what do you think? Let us know in the comments, of course, what you think about the whole thing. For me, I feel like it was pretty good. I feel like, though, at times it did feel a little bit like a verbal command line, especially when we landed. It was very strange. I would not normally expect to vacate a runway and then have to have that much of a back and forth with ground. Normally it would be, welcome to Gatwick, taxi onto Juliet, or, you know, second right onto Juliet, then hold, whatever. And then you might get a further taxi instruction, but instead it was like, first of all, it didn't understand me, then it was like, say parking, it's like, well, where do you want me to go? Like, I don't normally expect to land and then tell the ATC exactly where I want to go. Normally you're told where to go and then you do your best to follow the instructions on where to go. That felt a little bit weird to me, in the same way that the way we were told just to basically crack on through 2-3 right at Manchester. It didn't really seem to have any regard for the fact that we were going to be crossing an active runway. It just told us to taxi, I think, you know, Papa, then Tango, then whatever, despite the fact there was a runway running between those two instructions, which was a bit weird. And when I queried it at the holding point, it didn't really seem to acknowledge that there was that runway there and just told me to carry on. That felt a bit odd to me. And again, the fact when we got to Willow that we had to do the whole little loop at Willow, I don't know whether it got us to do that for traffic reasons. Maybe it did, because there was quite a bit of traffic inbound to Gatwick. So did it intelligently make us do that, or was it just kind of being very much on rails? Because that was our flight plan, therefore that was what it was going to make us do. SayIntentions didn't make us do that. It told us to, I think it vectored us from a certain point for, you know, vectors for the ILS, which is exactly what I would expect on VATSIM. So yeah, feels a little bit more on rails, and I know that ATC in general is kind of, you know, the whole system by design is kind of on rails, but this felt a little bit too much like it was on rails. And yeah, just a little bit of weirdness when we landed into Gatwick. I didn't particularly enjoy that back and forth with ATC. That felt a bit strange to me, that one, but it's definitely getting there. It's improved a lot since we last tried it, which was well over a year ago now. I mean, there were several points on the flight. I think it was a similar flight we did, maybe it's Edinburgh down to Gatwick, where I needed to descend, and I was like, you know, Air Knot, whatever my call sign was, probably 232, ready for descent, and it was like, I didn't catch that last radio call or whatever. So basically that was code for I'm confused and I don't know what you want me to do. So yeah, a little bit weird. And again, we had that traffic issue as well, didn't we, on the way down? The AI traffic looked like it was heading right for us, and I had to take evasive action. And again, it didn't really acknowledge the fact that I had to swerve out of the traffic's way. It didn't acknowledge me there was traffic inbound. So I think probably there's a little bit of a disconnect there between the AI traffic and the air traffic control system in general, because you would think that if that traffic was heading right towards me, the traffic system would have known about it and done something about it. But it is still early days after all. The system is still technically in early access, so we are going to have to expect these things. I think some people confuse what early access means. I kind of think that maybe they think it's just a way for them to pay and get access to a finished piece of software early, whereas that really isn't what it is. It's you paying and being able to access an unfinished piece of software early. So I'm not going to hold anything against BeyondATC that went wrong today. It's still very much in development, and I acknowledge that, and it's just really interesting to check in. It's definitely improved though, definitely improved, and I would be very keen to see how it looks in 12 months from now. It's just such an interesting space. Both BeyondATC and SayIntentions, they're both doing very, very interesting work. For me, obviously, I fly VATSIM most of the time anyway, so it's not really kind of the be-all and end-all for me, but I do find it fascinating, especially the way that AI is slowly taking over everything, and this is a really interesting application for AI in my view. So I'll be definitely checking in periodically, seeing how things are going, and I wish BeyondATC and of course SayIntentions all the very best. I think it's really fascinating what they're up to, and I can't wait to see more of it. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for coming along. Hit like, hit subscribe. Don't forget we do a lot of live streams on the channel, so subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when we go live, or if you prefer Twitch, twitch.tv/airnot. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you very much indeed for watching. You all look after yourselves, be good to each other, and as always, happy flying.